How's it going, everybody? My name is Everett Harn, and I'm here with my fellow geeks on screen. So first to introduce, we've got North Carolina. Come on and raise up, please. Don't take off your clothes, Brad. We got Brad.
No, no, I won't. Can't take off this beautiful Sting shirt. Still representing my WrestleMania pride from this past week. So I'm doing great. Glad to be here tonight.
Nice. All right, and as my third co-host today, we've got Tom the Ox. We've got Tommy Oxford, Odin's son. How's it going, Tommy?
It's going good, man. Actually, glad I was able to make this episode and didn't have any more internet issues. Knock on fucking wood.
Yeah, I know, man. You bailed out on us. You were just like, hello, my internet's been and then you just like hung up Skype, and I was just like, whatever. No, you were doing like the thing where you crinkle in paper. You're like,
Dude, I live in Arkansas. Trust me, if I tell you my internet is out and shitty, it's shitty. It's Arkansas. That's all you gotta know.
Yeah, you got Bill Clinton and the Razorbacks, and that's about it. And Jerry Jones is from there too. So
Not proud of any of those.
you're like, I don't even know who any of them are.
hey, if it wasn't for Bill Clinton having Al Gore invent the internet, we wouldn't even be on here right now. So you better be grateful,
Oh.
son.
Old man bear pig.
Exactly. I'm super cereal.
All right. Well, we are the Geeks on Screen. We are Geeks with Wives podcast. We talk about movies, TV shows, and sometimes other forms of entertainment, but it's not very often. We're going to start by talking about what we watched this week. It can be either TV or movies, and that's basically where we get our just kind of random show and movie talk. Then we'll move into our main topic, and then we'll go into the weekly news of the stuff that we found, and we'll try to be as entertaining as possible. Right, Brad?
Exactly. As entertaining as possible as we can at midnight on the East Coast during the work week.
I just saw you were like, you looked like you were falling asleep already.
Had like the Kirsten Stewart
I didn't
stone
get.
face. Just go.
I did not get a nap in today, so hopefully I'll be a little more entertaining than Kirsten Stewart. So
If you
All
didn't
right.
get a nap, did you at least get your juice box in? Are you?
hey, I got my good old Southern sweet tea right here, man. That's all I need, right there with lemon in it. That's what we got, North Kakalaki.
Thank God we found somebody more redneck than me.
Hey, we got that sweet tea here that gives you kidney stones with the unfiltered water because you can't refill the jug quick enough, So there's so much mineral in the water because no
Shit.
barbecue or fish camp is courteous enough to use filtered water. So I've had 3 kidney stones by the age of 28, just to let you know.
All right, well, let's keep this redneck rolling, Brad. What did you watch this week?
Hey, that's the perfect segue for me, man, because I watched WrestleMania 31, the showcase of the Immortals on the WWE Network for $9.99. And
Damn,
I tell you,
I didn't know we were sponsored by WWE.
hey, if you're a semi-WWE fan, you got it ingrained in your mind because they say it 50 times on every broadcast. So I say
Yeah.
$9.99 in my sleep. I think that's my cell phone number now. But regardless, it kind of ties into movies. I didn't just try to randomly work WrestleMania into a film podcast. They actually had a very big promotion going on with Terminator Genesis, the
I
new
heard that.
Terminator installment coming out this summer, bringing back Arnold.
I heard that Arnold came up like holding like 6 Terminator skulls, and
That was
like,
Triple H that actually
that
did
was Triple H. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I
Arnold was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame hell, I still can't figure out why, but
I was about to say, is
just
he
for
even a wrestler?
promotion.
Is he
No,
even a
he's
wrestler?
not a
No?
wrestler. They
He's like, oh, look at me!
no,
I'm
they
on
have celebrity
WWE.
inductees.
Yeah. Okay.
Every year they do a random celebrity inductee to work them into the show, I guess, would be
Yeah.
the best way to describe it. But
I heard that show was like 7 hours long.
four and a half if you count the pre-show on the WWE network, but the
Okay.
main show was 4 hours. And about 30 minutes of that was Triple H's Terminator entrance, which, as you said, Everett, he rose out of the ground wearing a Terminator mask that looked like it came from KB Toys in 1992, and carrying Terminator skulls. And they say Triple H's entrances, cost a lot of money, and Arnold introduced Triple H, but I mean, it was corny, it was cheesy. The whole gimmick kind of ticked me off because it was Sting's first WrestleMania, who had been a WCW icon, and
Yeah.
a lot of people saw it as a slap in the face. To tie this back to movies, because the most embarrassing moment of Sting's career is when he actually fought RoboCop when the third RoboCop movie was coming out. So, but hey, I enjoyed the show. We all know wrestling's a shoot, but there's a lot of crossover between geek fans and wrestling fans for whatever reason. And I know you guys used to be wrestling fans, so y'all can't say much.
Oh, I've never considered myself a wrestling fan, but I'll take it.
I thought you had to if you're from North Carolina. That's
No,
not
man,
required.
I moved to North Carolina from Texas. We were just like,
Okay, okay,
what is
that's
this?
where that's
What
where
are these naked
WrestleMania.
men humping each other on stage? I'm just kidding. Tommy, can you hear us? You look like you are just dead to the world right now.
I can hear you, but Brad's cutting out quite a bit on my end. I don't know if it's me
Sorry,
or you.
Yeah,
I got a good connection here. It says.
you're cutting out just in and out, but we'll keep pushing on. So, so what else did you watch, Brad?
Well, I watched the Goldbergs. They had all the ABC sitcoms had a April Fool's centric episodes this week, and
Okay.
the Goldbergs, for anybody that don't know, is like a '80s based sitcom. It's basically the Wonder Years set in the 1980s, and it had a lot of geek references. The youngest kid's kind of a big geek, and he has all these nostalgic '80s toys like Grayskull, and the show kind of centered around where the youngest son Adam takes Barry's Charles Barkley signed shoe and acts like he messes it up, and as a result there's a big prank war in which a Castle Grayskull, which is a very expensive He-Man collectible even back in that day, gets destroyed. But I
Yeah.
dig the show. If you were a semi-child of the 80s, born in the 80s, you'll love that show. So many Ghostbusters and movie type references on there.
Yeah. Okay.
Have either of you guys got a chance to check it out?
No, I never even heard of it. I
Yes.
thought it was a Goldberg from wrestling.
No, it's
I-
not another wrestling plug, I promise.
I actually watched the Goldbergs and I did catch the new episode, but it's not like it's one of my favorite shows, but it's not up there to a level where I felt on mentioning it. Like
Okay.
if I'm not mistaken, I actually put that show in as like my best of the year when I first started with Geeks With Wives. I know that was like either that was like my show of the year or the runner up, because like I do love it. I wasn't born in the 80s, but I grew up with 80s shit, so
Yeah.
I can appreciate it pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah. Check it out, though, if anybody's listening and you're semi-child of the 80s, like even if you're like T and you wasn't born in the 80s, but you kind of grew up with all that stuff, right? So it's worth it. But that's
Yeah.
pretty much it for me besides The Flash, and I know, Everett, you want to talk about that.
Yeah, we can talk about it when it gets to me. So, for anyone that was missing the segment where we would talk about Steven watching Lost and what he thought was happening, we've got a brand new segment now for when Tommy's on the show, because Tommy is just watching Breaking Bad season 1. So now we're going to do, Tommy, what do you think is happening on Breaking Bad season 1?
Well, considering the fact I'm only on the third episode, because
Oh, come on.
Hey, I work, asshole.
So what do you think of the show, and what do you think's happening based on 3 episodes?
It's really kind of hard to say, honestly. There's not a whole lot that like I can kind of piece together right now because it's still, like.
Well, I'm so glad you wrote this in there then, Tommy.
You should have asked. I told you, like.
No, say what you were gonna say about Breaking Bad.
I mean, like, I love the show though. Like, I'd seen the first 2 episodes, or the first episode, when I was living in California, and then when I moved back home, I lost my Netflix, so I really wasn't able to keep up with it. And now that I have a job and have money to support the unhealthy DVD buying habit that I currently have, I decided to finally pick up the seasons and watch the show. And so far, I'm loving it. It's definitely a show that I wish I would have watched, or I wish I would have been able to watch, on air, like as it was happening, instead of having to wait so long. And
I don't know, man.
Do you have Netflix?
Not anymore.
Okay, I was just wondering because they're out streaming.
I did.
Well, see, I was about to say, I'm pretty sure everyone that buys Walmart DVDs are Walmart employees themselves. I think they just like, on the way to the employee, like where you check in, and on the way out, like it's just nothing but DVDs because they just sell their shit to their own people. But
considering I have to walk right by the DVDs, every time.
But yeah, no, it's a great show. So what else did you watch this week?
I'm finally getting caught up with season 3 of Vikings.
Okay.
I've got a few more episodes to get caught up with the one that just aired, I believe, last night or night before.
So did they win the Super Bowl yet or not?
You don't make fun of the Vikings show. I need to catch up
on that. I like NFL Network.
Brad being cheeky towards Tommy again.
Hey, I'm not bringing up. You know what? I promise not to.
Well, for anyone that wants to bring that up, that is now Steven's thing. So if you want to tweet Steven with the hashtag TeamFitty, that would be great.
There was a picture that got tweeted, and it's been retweeted, so all you have to do is look.
Yeah, if you go to the hashtag TeamFitty, it's nothing but like 50 Cent stuff, like the rapper 50 Cent stuff, and then there's a picture of Steven. Yep. So it's pretty damn funny.
Yeah.
All right.
But, I don't know. So far, season 3 of Vikings is fucking insane. Like, the show just gets better and better, and the fact they got renewed for a season 4 makes me so damn happy. Like, I cannot wait. Like, I'm gonna do everything I can to watch that shit the night it happens. Like, I'm not gonna be this like night before, 2 nights later. No, fuck it. I'm gonna watch that as it happens.
Well, stop buying DVDs then, man, and buy some Netflix. And
I've got to buy a better computer before I can buy Netflix, though.
Quit buying physical DVDs. They're going to be useless in like 2 days.
No. And
I like physical media too, though. So.
I mean, I don't know. These 2 DVD shelves behind me were full, but I've cleared one out completely and sold 600 of them. So I'm not buying any more than what will fit in this because I don't. That's just too much money.
Shit, man, selling DVDs, thing of a past.
Yeah,
50 cents a pop or something now at like GameStop.
Go down to GameStop and trade them in. Exactly. Remember the good old days when you could get some money for that crap?
I went to GameStop and they ripped me off. They were giving me like 25 cents a DVD. I went to Game Exchange, which is like a little it's a smaller local thing. I got more money there. I got like $1, $2 every DVD.
The thing about GameStop is they're just like, you only get store credit now. They used to be they'd actually give you money back in the day.
Yep.
Yeah. Arkansas doesn't even have damn GameStop. They got Game Exchange. And they only give you 20 cents a DVD instead of 25.
No, bro. We may be redneck, but we do have a GameStop.
I was about to say, Tommy works at a Walmart, but it's not a normal Walmart. It has 2 L's in the name. It's got kind of a derpy smiley face instead of the normal one.
It's like on like TV shows and comic books, it's implied Walmart, but they can't use it. It's like that's what it's like.
All right. We love you, Tommy. You know it. So, before Tommy comes in and scolds both of us, I'm going to move on to what I watched this week. So, I'm just going to go through. Of course, I watched a ton of stuff. I've only watched one new show this week. I watched Powers. The new episode, I wasn't too impressed. It was basically like the whole episode took place inside of like the police station. And it was like at a wake, and that was like the whole episode. And I wasn't impressed at all. The Flash.
Everett? Was it the same wake that had the dead guy propped up as in Green Lantern cosplay? Was it that
No.
same wake that they were at? I mean, it is Powers. So it
No.
makes sense. Did you
Yeah, no.
guys see that?
Yeah. No, it was. I think it was. I don't know. But yeah, let's talk about Flash. For anyone who didn't see it, we might end up spoiling, but we'll try not to. They did some pretty big spoilers this week regarding the Reverse Flash, and I think it was huge. Like, it really just kind of upped it up. I'm not going to mention what the spoilers were, but they did kind of a flashback in this episode that went back. Yeah, the flashback. And I don't know. It was a great episode. It was also an episode where Barry learns another one of his Flash powers the Flash has, where he can run so fast and vibrate, where he can run through objects. And that's finally he has that, so that'll really amp up his like ability to save lives and stuff, instead of having to like shake his hands. But it also had Mark Hamill in it, and Mark Hamill is fan-freaking-tastic. Like, he was so good.
Yeah, as much as I loved all that stuff, I wrote in the Flash Reverse, the Reverse Flash play on words that is our weekly Flash recap on geekswithwives.com, written by yours truly, the real Brad Bell, that the best part about this episode was not all that cool crap that Everett was talking about, but it was essentially a very Barry Allen episode at its core. Like that scene between Detective West and Barry, as much cool stuff is going on in that episode when he says you always see the best in people, and that is what your true superpower is. Call it corny, call it cheesy.
Let's say, man, you're a sap, Brett.
Yeah, I am, man. I have a thing for heart. Like I'm a sap. I will cry in a movie. I will. So you can go ahead and bust my chops. But
oh, really? You've seen 50 Shades?
I didn't cry in that movie. I would cry because my wife would ask me to go see that movie. But
you cry out of happiness that she finally asked you, because you don't have the nerve to ask her to go see it.
Hey, I'm not on hashtag Team 50, guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm not joining.
Yeah, no, that's Invictus Cosplay, at Invictus Cosplay Team 50. Hashtag Team 50.
And I thought it was cool. They did a lot of that through John Wesley Shipp playing Barry's dad, and
they involved him quite a bit. And there's a really great scene where he's kind of, like I don't want to spoil it, but yeah, there's some great scenes with John Wesley Shipp and Barry, and those I'm a sap when it comes to that show as well. Like, whenever they do the father-son bits between either Barry or Joe or Barry and his dad, like it kind of hits me where it hurts. But it was great. And every week I try to crown a winner between Arrow and the Flash, and I've been kind of having trouble this week doing that, because Arrow was fantastic as well. It's really just evolving into a different type of show than it was in season 2. Like, in season 2, the Arrow was a hero. He saved the city from Deathstroke. Now they're bringing it back to the original element that's kind of like a Batman element, where the Arrow is a fugitive, and that's not that big of a spoiler if you know what's been going on in the season. But it's I think it's just fun whenever he's not so much a hero. Like, people don't view him as a hero and the cops are after him, and it kind of gives it a more exciting edge than if he's just going out and saving the city. So,
The only thing that worries me about Arrow is it's gotten so good and so big. Like,
mm-hmm.
where do you go from here on a CW show? They're eventually gonna have to return to telling smaller scale stories, and when they do that, I just wonder if the audience is going to receive it well. Are they going to be like, "What the heck? We go from the Atom, the Flash, and Air, like all being on here back to Oliver type stories." Now, I heard some. I'm not going to say it, but some juicy rumors about where that show might be headed next season. If they go where I think they may go,
Mm-hmm.
wow, it would top what they've been doing. But I just worry about it getting too big. Whereas I think the
Yeah.
Flash has done it feels like they're doing a lot, but it feels like both shows are doing a lot. Has the Flash done too much as well? Gorilla Grodd, Reverse Flash. It's just so much in one season.
Well, I like they've been teasing Gorilla Grodd, but I don't think he's actually going to. Like, I don't know, he's in some of the trailers still for the rest of the season, but I assume he's going to be the big bad of season 2 because Grodd's just too
Yeah,
good of a villain not to use as the big bad. And
he
but
needs a whole arc.
I think if you've watched Smallville or any other CW show, you know that they're going to keep ramping up the action. Like, they just announced just a small bit of news that they've cast Hawk Girl in the team up or the spinoff. And so,
Saw that.
they're like Casey was saying last night on the Capes podcast, like they're going to name the spinoff like Justice League United or something where
Justice Society, maybe.
yeah, or Justice Society, where they're just going to have kind of like the other Justice League where it's going to be Flash, Arrow, Atom, Hawk Girl. I don't even know who else they're going to have, like Canary, of course. And then Cisco becomes Vibe. Spoilers if you haven't read the comics. Sorry, but Cisco's, he's an alter ego for a existing superhero that's been in the comics for a long time. So yeah, they've got like a whole roster, and I think they're just going to keep amping up the action and adding more and more heroes. They're going to try and get maybe some more Batman people, maybe not villains, but maybe people if they're allowed. We'll have to see.
I think when Daredevil hits Netflix, it's going to be a good kind of breather from that giant type of story that's been told at the street level and get back to smaller stories on the street level. And I think that'd be kind of refreshing.
Oh man, I can't wait. That comes out this Friday or next Friday, and yeah, I think it's like 8 episodes or something. That'll be perfect.
Yeah.
The last 2 things I'm going to mention is I watched Last Man on Earth. That show just gets every week. I'm going to say this. That show gets better with each episode. It's freaking hilarious. Will Forte is just the best in that show, and I haven't ever been a big fan of him, but he's hysterical in that show.
You didn't like MacGruber, dude? Come on.
He was kind of like, who is it? He's kind of
MacGruber.
He's like Bill Hader for me. Like, I'm not a big Bill Hader fan because his style of comedy just doesn't work for me. Yeah. But yeah, when they get him in the right role, it's perfect. The last show that I started watching, I think I've watched 3 episodes, is a Netflix show called The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, and it's written by Tina Fey, or produced by Tina Fey. I'm not sure if it's written. It might be written by her, but it's pretty damn funny. It's not like the funniest show ever, but it's interesting. Like, the plot of the show is that this girl Kimmy Schmidt was like a member of an apocalypse cult. Like, this old kind of perverted guy like took him down in this like bomb shelter and told them that the apocalypse had happened, that they can't leave the shelter because there's hellfire and volcanoes up top, and so they live in this bomb shelter 15 years, and she's like completely oblivious and to like what the world is nowadays, and they rescue her and she goes to New York City and just is super just ignorant to everything because she's been, trapped for 15 years. So it's pretty good. It's worthwhile. So
Can I throw out a random thing that I just have to ask anytime somebody brings up Tina Fey?
yeah.
If you don't mind, there is a local radio host here who swears up and down that he's never met, and I mean to offend any listeners out there by the name of Tina, but it says that he's never met an attractive female named Tina. And every time somebody calls up, they always say Tina Fey. So, guys, is Tina Fey hot in your book? What do you think?
Oh, I'd say so.
Yeah, I think she's pretty attractive too, personally, but.
But
Think
now,
about it. Do you
now I'm
know
trying
any
to
hot
think.
Tinas?
No, I can't think of any.
Me either. All the Tinas I know are not that attractive. So maybe there's a theory there. The
Well-
Tina theory. Hashtag
Well,
Tina
there-
theory.
Well, this podcast just took a turn.
Well, let's take another turn in our car, like Speed Racer's doing right now, because we're gonna move on to our main topic. Brad, what's our main topic this week?
You want to take main topic and then news, right?
Yeah, we'll do main topic and news. So what's our main
Okay,
topic?
our main topic is car movies, racing movies, famous movie cars, famous chase scenes, wherever you want to drive the car, whatever direction you want to go in. And like NASCAR, hopefully it won't all be lefts and this won't get too boring rather quickly.
Well, we're also going to talk about some of the shows I found. Some of them are kind of obscure, but and some of them aren't, like, there might be people that watch the show that like Top Gear, but oh well. So yeah.
The reason we kind of brought it up because this is the week Fast 7 comes out, right? This is going to be one of the biggest movies of the year. I'm going to see it tomorrow. I hadn't seen it yet. It just came out today. Are you guys planning on seeing that?
Nope.
No? Are y'all okay? So this brings me to the question of are you not fans of the Fast series? Because if you're not, I think you're in the minority.
Okay. I used to be a fan of the Fast series. Used to be. After the third or fourth movie, I thought they're just milking the damn thing and we need to stop.
See, I'm the opposite. I thought it got better.
No.
See, for me, like, I don't know if I've got old man brain or what, but like I really enjoyed 1. 2 was okay, but I was pissed that Vin Diesel wasn't in it. Tyrese is okay. And then they did number 3, which I actually kind of enjoyed, especially after they showed the after credit scene with Vin Diesel and the new guy. And then they tried to go all the way back to the original cast, and I was like, fuck, I don't remember any of these characters. I don't remember any, like, what the hell is happening with them, and I can't get in the number 4. Like, I'm sure if I could get through number 4, I would watch 5, 6, and then want to see 7. Either that or I might feel like Tommy and feel like they're just milking it. But I couldn't, like, I don't know. The fact that 7, I'm not sure if he's going to be in it or if it's finally catching up. But I think they're going to bring the guy from Tokyo Drift in to those movies finally. Because apparently 4, 5, and 6 were like prequels to 3, but sequels to 2.
Exactly right.
Like, it just kind of gets like, it got a little crazy.
They're chronologically kind of screwed up, but if you were like from, let's say, middle school on when when Fast and Furious came out, the original, came out, which was 01, I believe, was 01 when the first Fast and Furious came out. That was a huge movie. And then everybody was into that movie, and it was a great car movie, chase movie, whatever you want to call it. 2 and 3 were different. 4 was kind of whatever, but around the 5th one, they made that transition from car racing movie to heist movie, and I think that drew in the other people, the other demographic who maybe weren't necessarily interested in these type of films, these fast films, and I think that's why they're making close to $100 million or that on opening weekends now.
Okay. Sorry, I was laughing because Tommy, I couldn't see what you had your hand on. It looked like you were raising your hand to ask a question.
No, I'm propping my arm on the wall.
Teacher,
trust me. If I got a question, I'm just gonna say it. I don't give a shit.
All right. So let's move into the meat of the main topic. So we didn't really, we're kind of gonna wing it.
Can,
Cars, wings.
can I say one more thing about the Fast series before we
Yeah,
move
yeah. No,
on?
go for it.
Okay, another reason people love these movies is they appeal to a broad demographic of people. Have you ever heard of the Bechdel test?
No.
No.
Okay, it is a very type of complicated social test. Not really. It involves female characters, minority characters talking to one another, and there's all kinds of criteria to pass the Bechdel test. This is a thing that filmmakers often consider nowadays in this progressive era that we're in. And you can't have a female who is just a love interest. A female has to, in order to pass the Bechdel test, a female has to talk to another female, and it can't be about a guy. And this is a legit
She
thing.
she has to
And
be a love interest and then turn into the bad guy in the next movie.
no, that's not the Bechdel test. But
You
Is
just you
is
just cracked the code, Everett. You
I was
just
about to
cracked
say,
the code.
is Vin Diesel in this movie making out with a Latina chick? That is the Bechdel test.
But
does
the
that
movie, my point is, look up the Bechdel test. There's more to it than what I'm saying, but that's kind of the gist of it. And the past two, I know 5 and 6 have passed it, and that it says a lot because a lot of movies don't pass the Bechdel test, which I know is not to get you bored with all these this movie stuff lingo, but something to consider.
Well, you almost cracked into where I was headed next. Was for the main topic. I kind of wanted to ask that why the hell are we addicted to cars, and what did we do before cars existed? I'm not a big car guy, but I enjoy chase scenes and stuff in movies, and I enjoyed the first few Fast movies. I don't appreciate the cars as car lovers would, but why is it something like NASCAR? Why do people love cars so much they can sit and watch a car spin around a circle for?
Because there's
NASCAR.
nothing else to do in the South, right, Tommy?
I mean, well, yeah, but NASCAR is a whole other topic. I'm just
Yeah.
gonna say this, since you brought it up, Everett. If alcohol was not involved in NASCAR at all, there would not be near as many people. It would not be near as entertaining because I'm sorry, if being completely 100% sober, watching a car make a consistent left turn
Okay. You mean
doesn't.
the audience? I was about to say, hell, I'd be watching it if the drivers were drinking.
Well, yeah,
Hey,
if
that's how NASCAR. That's how NASCAR got started. Was the Prohibition era? The bootleggers were running
Yeah.
from the cops, delivering the moonshine, and they decided, hell, let's just make it a competition to see who can outrun the cops the fastest. Honest to God, that's how NASCAR was born.
But I guarantee you that was more exciting because the moonshiners were actually taking sips of their moonshine behind the wheel of the car, and it added a little.
That's also how demolition derbies were formed and monster truck. No, I'm just kidding.
Let's just say this: it's the only sport where you can bring your own beer in. That's what makes it popular, probably, but it
Exactly.
is.
Yeah. If alcohol wasn't involved, NASCAR wouldn't be near as big as what it is.
Well, so why are we addicted to car? Why do car movies get people excited though? Tommy, why did you go see the first few?
Man, I went and saw the first food strictly on the premise that it was, street racing. Because right as that time, right as those two movies came out, or the first one came out, the underground street race scene was actually getting pretty big.
Okay. In Arkansas?
Yeah. There was actually a.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I shit you not. Just
No,
down.
I mean, I trust me. I lived in
Yeah.
in a small town.
Yeah, you
And
can imagine. I live in a retirement town where old folks come to kick the bucket. When something exciting, pops up, they're gonna it's the rage. Literally just down the street from where I live, it was a street race. It was a street race spot for months after that movie came out.
Yeah.
There's something about getting those $10,000 rims on a salvage title. I don't know what does it.
Well, Brad, you've been in that neck of the woods for a while. Like where I went to high school, all it was just big trucks and then just shitty little Honda Civics that are like souped up. So
I
I don't understand the car thing just because I didn't like any of those type of cars.
I've always liked movie cars a lot better than the actual real cars. Like I mean, to be honest, I've wanted one of the newer Camaros ever since the first Transformers, and I came
Yeah.
very close to buying one, but I did not because I didn't want to live in my car, and my wife and I had to buy a house. So,
I mean, if like been walking down in Stockholm a few times, maybe even been in another city. I can't remember, but I mean, if I see like a Ferrari or a Lamborghini pass by, like it's striking, like it'll
Yeah.
catch my eye, but I'm not like, oh shit, I want one of those. I'm just like, wow, that's a cool looking car. But
Yeah.
I feel like in the first movie, Vin Diesel's car was way cooler than any of the cars in the next like two movies, like the
Yeah.
little souped up, like the Spider, and I forget what the one Paul Walker drove in the second one, and then like the little Japanese cars in the third one. Like I didn't care for any of those. It was cool how they were drifting and stuff.
Yeah.
there's just something liberating about it. Seeing somebody get in a car, go wide open on screen, do things that you wish you had the guts to do with the car, but you don't want to take the risk with it. There's
I,
just something about that.
I
Yeah,
honestly think that's why these movies do so good. Is like a lot of people go just to see stuff they wish they could do.
yeah.
Like
No, instead of Speed Racer up in the corner here, I almost put a GIF of Paul Walker doing the stare to Eva Mendes from the first movie, where he's driving the car and just staring at her. You remember that scene?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
do.
Yeah.
that's probably the best scene in that whole movie. And yeah, I almost put that on there because I do enjoy that. But yeah,
Yeah.
no, I mean the first three movies, I did enjoy them. I just for some reason can't get into the fourth one. I have them.
Skip the fourth one and go to the fifth one.
Can I do that, or will I be lost in the
Yeah,
story?
you can do that.
Should I just wiki it? Okay.
Yeah, just Wicket.
just read the cliff notes. You're good.
No,
Just
the fifth.
that's
the
how I
fifth
got through
one-
school.
The fifth one is like a start of kind of its own trilogy with The Rock coming in, pretty much.
Oh,
So
The Rock. Well, Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
back to wrestling. So, what are besides the Fast movies? Like, what are some of you guys' favorite car movies? Like, off the top of your head.
Well, I mean, I guess we can talk about like Talladega Nights, the Ballad of Ricky Bobby.
That's one of my least favorites, actually, because it's
Really?
the negative stereotype of everything that's wrong with the South. But I can't say I
Oh,
don't
you
embrace
just-
Mountain Dew and NASCAR. So,
Whoa,
You
whoa,
gotta
whoa, whoa, whoa.
you gotta get past the whole like.
Negative stereotype, man. I watched that movie and knew people that were like,
I did too.
yeah, like no, that was not a negative stereotype. That was one of the truest stereotypes about people in the South I have ever seen in my life. And this is coming from me. I've grown up in the South.
I praise the Lord, baby Jesus, for this
Yes.
bountiful.
Yes.
Oh man, I thought it was fun. Like it wasn't my favorite movie because, like I said, I'm not a big NASCAR fan,
No.
but it had its funny moments.
Oh yeah. The comedy in that movie is what made it. Like Will Ferrell is like if anybody else would have been Ricky Bobby, it wouldn't have done as well.
it's just that's when him and John C. Riley started developing that chemistry, that on-screen rapport, and those guys just
Yeah,
they work so well off of one another, and that was the movie that kind of introduced them into pop culture
Yeah.
big time. So that's what made that movie work for me.
Did
Yeah.
you guys go see Need for Speed with old Jesse Pinkman in it?
No, I did not. I was actually going to, but I never did get around to going.
It looked
Yeah, I
like
wanted to see it, but I heard it was pretty bad.
it looked like a B movie, so I didn't
Yeah.
I didn't care to see it. Gone in 60 Seconds was kind of a cool.
Oh, that
Car
is
movie.
one of my favorites, man. I remember when that
Yeah.
movie came out.
I'm gonna drive this car in 60 seconds. I know that's my best Nick Cage. So
It's
yeah,
pretty good.
Nick
Yeah,
Cage.
it's pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah, speaking of pretty good, what'd you guys think of Herbie Fully Loaded with Lindsay Lohan? That's one of Wayne Hughes at Wayne Hughes BFG. That's one of his favorite movies.
Wayne must have been a little inebriated off some type of tea or something because that movie was god awful.
Pretty sure Wayne just likes Lindsay Lohan.
Wouldn't
So
surprise me. I can kind of
no.
see. I can kind of see the connection.
No, but like back before that terrible movie was made, we had The Love Bug, and that movie was okay. You know, it was revolutionary for its time. You had like a
Yeah.
living car. What do you guys think about the living car movies like Christine?
Dude, Christine is one of my favorite horror movies. Honestly, I finally got my wife to watch it this past Halloween. It's just that classic '80s nostalgia in the film, and then that is something about getting your first car and it just being that badass of a car. And I don't know, man. I was the guy who had the '92 crap Accord in high school, but as crappy as that car was, there's something about that first car. You want to keep it clean. There's something special. You do have kind of an addiction to it. And I think that the book, obviously, first the Stephen King book, but then that movie is kind of a commentary on that obsession. I love it.
All right. Speaking of living car movies, I know I brought this up to you, Everett. I don't know if Brad's seen it. Chris might be the only person that's actually seen this movie. Rubber. Any of you guys ever seen that? It's literally it's a horror movie about a killer tire.
Okay, that sounds cool.
It's a B movie through and through. It's
That
god
sounds
awful.
like a D movie.
Sounds like something that needs to be on Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Honestly, yeah, but it's so good. And then there was I can't remember the other movie. Man, I'm trying to think what it is.
Well, I wrote down the one called The Hearse, and I think that's about a killer hearse.
Yeah, but no, there's one that I just watched from like the '80s. Like I think it's Maximum Overdrive or something with like the big rigs and shit.
Okay.
Hey, have you ever seen Joyride? That's a decent horror movie about the big rigs.
Joyride.
I thought that movie was stupid.
Yeah,
That was Paul Walker too, right?
Was he?
Yep.
Yeah, it was.
Sure,
Yeah,
I think
he
it
was in that.
The only thing I remember of that movie is the girl blowing her freaking brains out, and then like camera goes through the hole of her head out the back window. Like,
And
that's all I remember.
Candy cane. Wasn't that like the call sign of the truck driver on the seat? Candy cane.
Kinda good.
Dude, I like that movie. I mean, it's a crap movie, I'll admit, but it's a crap movie that I liked.
It was good for its time. I'll give it that.
Yeah, there's another.
The 2000s. How I remember you so fondly.
Do you guys remember Death Proof at all?
Yeah.
That's the Tarantino one that was in Grindhouse, right?
Yep.
That was what's his face from Stargate. What's his name? Universal Soldier.
Oh, shit.
Oh no.
If you wouldn't have said that, I could have told you. But yeah, now I'm drawing a blank.
Dude, I didn't like Death Proof. You like it, Tommy?
It was all right. Like it wasn't one of my favorites, but I mean, for what it was a good little watch.
Well, I remember it was Robert Rodriguez's with the God. What's the first part of Grindhouse? The one with the girl with
the girl with the leg gun.
Planet
something.
Gosh. Is it Planet Terror? Or am I drawing a blank?
I think it was Planet Terror.
I think that may be it. That's such a fast-paced, like, wow, just balls to the wall type movie. Then you went into Bulletproof, which is just kind of a slower pace. But hey, it introduced the world to Machete in the middle. Remember that trailer?
Kurt Russell. That's who I'm thinking of.
Okay, yeah, there we go.
And I don't think Kurt Russell's Universal Soldier.
I don't know if you guys remember the movies. I could be wrong, but I think it was Jason Statham. Death Race. You guys remember those?
Yeah, that was Jason Statham. I think
there was actually what I would consider a complete knockoff of Death Race called Death Racers.
Okay.
And it was literally pretty much the same premise. Like there was a mad scientist created something, and like they were racing to get to it. But the only reason I know about this movie and the only reason I watched it is because at the time I was on MySpace and people were talking about this movie.
MySpace.
Yeah. Just because the Insane Clown Posse had a starred in that movie. Like that's why it was so big. I watched that movie and it was just as shitty as their music.
Well, here's news for you, Tommy, because Death Race is with Statham was a remake of a David Carradine Sylvester Stallone movie, and then they made a Death Race 2 and then Death Race Inferno before they made Death Racers. So you should go watch all of those. So
No.
I don't know if we're all too young. I was hoping to get Chris back on here, but he's standing in the Star Trek section of WonderCon right now, guarding all the jewels. But have either of y'all watched Knight Rider?
Yes.
I've seen a couple episodes. I saw that god awful remake that NBC did. That movie, the TV movie, they wanted to spin into a show.
Yeah.
Did you see it?
Yeah, I remember that. I forgot they did that. Jesus.
Hey, Val Kilmer was the voice of Kid on that.
Was he? Jesus, Val Kilmer's falling far.
It's so bad that Everett blocked it out of his memory.
I did. It's like the only thing that I remember of Knight Rider is what the Hoff is still saying about it, because like every time he's like, I'm the Hoff. You might know me from Knight Rider or Baywatch. Like that's how he introduces himself everywhere.
Yeah.
Like
It's like Troy McClure from The Simpsons.
Yeah, like he
I think
he
it
got
was actually based off of him, so it kind of makes sense.
well.
Yeah,
the Hoff got a nightly show in Sweden, or like a weekly night, like kind of like a Conan type show once a week here in Sweden, and he lived here for a while. And
What the fuck is wrong with Sweden?
I don't know, but like all it was him.
He's
like
a hero there.
Yeah, well, he comes from Germany, and he speaks terrible Swedish, but he all it was like just him like talking about Baywatch. Like they did like skits where he was casting people for Baywatch Sweden, where it was supposed to be like a joke version of Baywatch where they're all like in the snow, and I don't fucking know. And then like he would bring on Kit from Knight Rider onto the stage and talk to Kit, and it was so bad.
Dude, I want to hunt that down and watch it.
I think it's called like the Dennis Hoffman show or something in Sweden. It's so bad.
I'm gonna hunt that down.
And then he sings, because he's got a music career now, but he sings like in every episode at the end.
I'll skip that. Skip that.
David Hasselhoff was he helped tear down the Berlin Wall, okay? So he is an important figure in American history. There's a lot of pictures of that online.
Yeah. Well,
he's real important.
I want to move on to something that I know that you really enjoy, Tommy, and I kind of just want to, it's kind of like back in it's got to be the late 90s, if not, it couldn't be the early 2000s. Got to be the late 90s.
I think I know where you're going.
Yeah, where like the car thing was really starting to take off, and your favorite show in the world, Power Rangers, went all car mode.
Yeah.
Power Rangers Turbo.
Yeah.
What did you think of that?
Man, I love that show. I loved it. I mean,
You like Turbo?
yes, I did. Like that was right. I think that was late 90s. So I mean, that was like, right as I was like hitting that age where like I was still in Power Rangers, but like they matured just a little bit. Like I loved it.
They were old enough to drive.
Yeah. Well, all
Dude,
but
that's the one when they brought in that stupid kid, Justin. I hated that crap.
Hey, don't disrespect that dude. I've met him. He's cool as shit.
Is it the Blue Ranger?
Yes, that's the Blue Ranger. That's Blake. Or his real name is Blake. Yeah, I met that guy. He's cool as hell. Like, man, I love Turbo. And I think, honestly, I loved it because I wanted to be Justin. Like, I wanted to be the fucking Blue Ranger when I was a kid, man.
I heard different things about that guy, but okay.
I mean, like I met him at a convention, so it's probably not the same dude you'd meet, on the street. But
yeah, I remember Elgar was a character in that. I'm looking through some of the characters.
Divatox was the main villain. The chick, and she was like, I mean, she was all right. I don't know. I loved everything from Mighty Morphin through Zeo. Like I loved it. Everything else I tolerated through Space, and then after that I was out.
I stopped right after Turbo.
Okay. Yeah. Space was good. I enjoyed In Space.
Yeah, Space was good.
I stopped after Tommy was no longer on the show.
Dude, Tommy,
Well,
is
he
is
kept coming
freaking
back.
is freaking Paul Schreier still in Power Rangers? The guy that played Bulk?
Yes.
I'm looking in his IMDb, and he's just in every single version.
Yep.
Jesus.
Yep. He's still doing it, and I'm pretty sure Skull is as
Yeah.
well.
My God,
No,
man.
Skull's not. It's Skull's nephew now. That's in it.
Okay. Okay.
Which I do not watch Power Rangers currently, but I did try to watch some of that whenever they were supposed to bring Tommy back or whatever.
I
And
literally watched every time he was brought back on the show. Like I kept up with Dino
Yeah.
Force just enough to see me, like just to see my childhood hero. And then when they brought him back, I'm not gonna get into it, but I was disappointed, but I was still happy.
Yeah.
Kind of like when they brought Sting back. It's just,
Bringing it back to wrestling. Bringing it back
God.
to wrestling.
Man, this
Hey.
this podcast is just redneck.
So let's
Yes.
let's get into. We've got a few more car things before we move on to the news because we're running out of time. Just straight up car shows. Like you've got Top Gear, which is super popular. You got American Hot Rod, Motor Week. You got freaking what's it called? You got Pimp My Ride. Remember Ice Cube
That
or
was
Ice T?
Exhibit. It was
Exhibit. Shit. I don't know. That's
You hit every one but the right one.
yeah. Let's Pimp My Ride. No, all right. Yeah. So that I don't know. Pimp My Ride was okay, but it started to get too crazy after a while.
I think one of my favorite shows. I actually listed it on there. I listed 2 of them on there. There's Fast and Loud.
Okay, that can be taken different ways.
no comment.
But no,
No comment.
there's a garage in I believe Dallas, Texas called Gas Monkey Garage,
Okay.
and it's basically the guy that owns that whole garage thing. Basically, what he does is they like buy cars and like either restore them or kind of bring them back to life in a sense.
Yeah.
So it's kind of along the same thing as
Like,
American.
like Christine.
Yeah.
No. But yeah, like there's that show. Then there's like I don't know, Fast and Loud is more for people that like to see the inner working of the car. Like the people that actually work on them. Like that's who it's designed for. Yeah, even though I'm not a car guy, like I still got a kick out of that show just to see them take a hunk of shit and shine it up and like make it into something. But like one of my favorites is it's Counting Cars. It's pretty much along the same lines as Pimp My Ride, but it's not as extravagant. Like they basically take cars, bikes, and that's pretty much all I've ever seen. Cars, bikes, trucks, basically anything with wheels that has a motor. They kind of trick it out, but they do it the right way. Like, I mean, there's like the guy's in Vegas, and he's known, for, adding like the rocker spin to the cars. It's like it's like my style of show. Like, the cars will come out, they'll be like, like blood red, almost black. Real like just evil looking shit. But it's so cool to see them take just a boring ass car and literally just turn it into something amazing.
Well, there's a billion other movies that we could probably mention. Not a billion, but there's a few. Like I know some people mention Tron, some people mention Mad Max.
Yeah.
Anime. They have quite a few car animes like Initial D and Capetta, and
yeah.
I listed Akira here because he's always shown with his damn motorcycle. So
yeah.
like G.I. Joe and Transformers.
Yeah.
Like you mentioned Biker Mice from Mars. I mean, they were on bikes.
Golly.
Speed Buggy, all that stuff. So let's just move on to the last little bit here. So Brad, you wrote a good list of famous movie and TV cars here. So go through those and let's talk.
Absolutely. All right, this is the part I was actually looking forward to the most. Obviously, I figured we would all say the Batmobile. So I just want to throw out to you guys, what is your favorite Batmobile and why? Tommy?
Mine, honestly, Michael Keaton, Batmobile from the first Batman that he was in. Like, that was the movie, like, that's what started me, in the Batman obsession. Like, I saw that, and then I saw the cartoon. And so, it's either a toss-up between, the Michael Keaton Batmobile or the Batman animated series Batmobile. Like those two are always going to be my favorite, hands
And they're
down.
and they're very similar too. Like the animated series was kind of based off that. The guy that
Yeah.
created that Batmobile, the set designer, his name's like Anton First, and he I believe that's how you pronounce his name. But he came up with that. Man, that car was just badass. It had that sleek aesthetic. It had those
Yep.
shields that came up. Man, one of the coolest car movie scenes for me ever is when he goes into that Ace chemical plant. He's not even driving it. He just blows the hell out of that chemical plant, drops
Mm,
that little
Yeah.
bomb. I mean, I don't know. When I think of the Batmobile, I think of that scene. Even though if you know much about Batman, the Batmobile
Yeah.
probably shouldn't have machine guns coming out of the top of it. But that was Tim Burton, right? I mean, I hate to say that was the Batmobile that it's a tie between that one and the '66 Batmobile because what got me into Batman actually, what really got me into my first introduction to superheroes was watching the reruns of the '66 show with my grandpa. So
yeah.
I just that I don't know something about that '66, that Plymouth. That to many people that is the Batmobile, and it always will be. So I like that. And what about you, Everett? What's your favorite Batmobile?
Um, Without thinking too hard about it, I'd probably have to say the from Batman, just the Tim Burton, the first one, was probably my favorite. But if you want to go into like favorite of all time, there was a toy that I feel like it was probably from Batman Forever.
Hmm.
It wasn't in the movie, but it was in that line of toys. But it was the Batmobile that came with all the parts, like it could transform and like you could hook the wings onto it.
Yeah,
You could
yeah, I
take the
remember
wings
this
off
toy.
and you could slide it into the boat, and then you
Yeah,
could take it out of the boat and put the two sets of wheels on it, and it became the Batmobile. And I think that one was
I still have that.
oh man, that was my favorite toy of all time. Like
I still have that.
it's the best
Oh,
Batmobile.
I love that Bat Jet, man. I'll
Yeah.
admit, I'm a guilty pleasure of mine is Batman Forever. And one of the things that always like just gave me goosebumps as a kid, and I still get the goosebumps today, is when Commissioner Gordon says, "Shut down the bat signal. He's not coming." Then Batman, cheesy as hell, flies through the bat signal and just gives Commissioner Gordon a thumbs up. I mean, I don't know, dude. There's just something badass. I mean, it's '66 cheesy Batman, but that's all. You brought it up. I had to go there. But yeah,
Well, my favorite thing in any Batman movie, I think, might even be the very first one where he's flying the Batwing, and he kind of just like disappears, and then it shoots up in front of the moon, and it just like hangs in front of the moon, and
yes,
then it slowly tips down and goes downward. Like that's the best scene in any Batman movie.
that's the first one, the
Yeah,
'89. Then the Joker's there, like, come on, and
yeah,
oh man,
I
I
love
love
it.
it. I love that part too. And then the Joker somehow takes down this state of the art flying vehicle with a
Yeah,
little pistol. But
right.
That's Tim Burton for you. Got to suspend disbelief there for a little bit. So what about favorite, just general favorite movie vehicles? Anything immediately off the top of your head? I mean, I know I want to say the DeLorean from Back to the Future, but that's probably the most generic one.
Well, that Captain Cosplay himself, Steven, wanted me to mention that the DeLorean from Back to the Future, it's not a big surprise, is his favorite movie and TV car.
yeah.
If you've seen, he's done a Back to the Future cosplay.
As Marty, he's Marty McFly or Doc.
As Marty McFly, yeah.
That's cool.
I don't
Yeah.
know. Like I kind of enjoy. Like I wrote Rodimus Prime here, Hot Rod from the old Transformers cartoon. I had to write him in because he's just such a badass TV car. And I know everyone nowadays only think of Bumblebee just because of the movies. Like if Michael Bay would put Hot Rod and turn him in the Rodimus Prime in one of his movies, he would win in my
Well, with
book.
some of the news we're going to talk about later with that Transformers movie universe coming, maybe that's possible.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have, obviously classics like the Ecto one from Ghostbusters. That's another one that was kind of probably a big player. And I had the little vehicle of that when I was a kid, so I always loved the Ecto one.
Yeah. For some reason, I'm getting a little bit of echo from you, Tommy.
Shit.
I'm not sure why. But, all right.
I
That's
know
the
why.
beauties of live broadcasting.
There, now I don't hear it anymore.
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I would have to go with Rodimus Prime, I think myself, but I like the Turtle Van from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I always had that I had that when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I could never figure out. I loved the Turtle Man, had the toy, loved it in a cartoon. Donatello souped it up. I'm
Yeah.
like, why was that never, I guess, budget in the first two Turtles movies? I mean, I just wanted to see that. It always is kind of like the same reason why is Toka and Razor in it instead of Bebop and Rocksteady.
Oh,
Like,
I
there's
know,
just,
man.
I
I mean,
never,
but because they were in Toka and Razor were great. Like we wanted Bebop and Rocksteady, but now they have Bebop and Rocksteady in the animated series, but they don't have Toka and Razor. I'm like, damn it! Now I want Toka and Razor. You
yeah.
sons of bitches.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's
They
getting a
need
little
their
off
own
topic.
spin-off cartoons, what they need with just the four of them.
Yes.
That's
So
off topic, sorry.
So another few cars we have listed here that after the show is over, you can tweet to at Geeks on Screen, which is your favorite. So we've got the Batmobiles, the DeLorean, we got Black Beauty, the General Lee, the Turtle Van, Hot Rod, Christine, the Mystery Machine, Love Bug, Kit from Knight Rider, the A-Team van, the Ghostbusters, Ecto One, and the Mutt Cuts van from Dumb and Dumbers. Let us know if one of those is your favorite or if we missed one.
If
You
So
you're
missed
from
one.
this,
I just
if
thought of
you're,
one.
what?
if you're, go ahead, go ahead.
You may have said it. I just wasn't paying attention. Fucking Mystery Machine, man.
I did say that, Tommy, you jerk.
Making sure.
Hey, if you're from the
Oh.
South, you gotta say General Lee.
No, you
just
don't.
have to.
No, you don't.
That's a rite of passage, man. You have to.
Yeah.
I love Dukes of Hazzard. I actually
Yeah.
have seen every episode of the original show, not that crap movie. I had to watch it. My dad made me watch it. All right, in our household, he said this is required viewing. Boy, you're gonna watch it. I
Wow.
did.
Jessica Simpson made that movie at least watchable. She was terrible in it, but
Gave
They
you something
made-
to stare at.
yes.
I couldn't take the gritty reboot of Roscoe P. Coltrane. I just couldn't take it.
It was
God,
bad.
that was awful.
So just real quick, I don't want to spend too much time on them, Brad. You wrote 4 of your favorite chase scenes here.
Yeah, I did. I did. Let's see. Let's go through these real quick. Like you said, obviously the one that everybody thinks of is that chase scene in the Matrix 2. In the
Reloaded,
Matrix
yeah.
2. Yeah, Reloaded with, I don't know what their names are, the two ghost guys
The ghosts,
zapping
yeah.
through everything. And
Yeah.
that was a big eye-popping set piece for 2003, I believe, when that movie came out. It was something everybody was talking about, kind of set the bar for chase scenes in a film.
Yeah.
Uh,
That was cool.
yeah, that was a real good one. I love the Dark Knight chase scene, obviously, when they lure the Joker in to catch him, and they use Harvey Dent as bait. That whole thing, I saw that in the IMAX theater. They filmed it with IMAX cameras, and it's again just absolutely breathtaking. The Batmobile, the Batpod on full display.
Yeah.
You have the Terminator 2 scene where Arnold rescues John Connor for the first time. You have all the scenes with the T-1000 chasing the cop car down. Those are good. I really like Bad Boys 2. There's a big chase scene in the middle of that one where Will Smith and Martin Lawrence are weaving out and under big rigs, and you have all these cars flying off of various tow trucks and things. And that was like Michael Bay at his best. It was like controlled chaos, and unlike with some of the stuff we saw in the Transformers movies where he just got off the rails. So I like that Bad Boys 2 scene. So yeah, tweet us too if you have some more chase scenes that you'd like. to
Yeah,
bring to the
there's a
table.
billion. Like I know I mentioned some of the Bourne chase scenes. I couldn't pick out a specific one, but
They're all so good.
I know there's one where he's driving around like Italy in a Mini Cooper, and that one was really fun just because he's like going down stairs and shit. But I also, like you mentioned Terminator 2, I enjoyed the short bit of Terminator 3 where he's like hanging onto that real big like truck and getting smashed through the buildings and stuff, and he ends up like hooking it to a manhole and it flips, and I enjoy. It's not really a car, but it's like a vehicle scene. So yeah,
If
that's
that movie would have been good, that would have probably been one of the most memorable chase scenes of all time. But it's just,
yeah. So let's just move on. We're gonna go through the news real quick before we wrap it up here. I know Tommy's falling asleep.
No, I'm good. I'm
so,
good.
so we've got on here twice, but April Fool's joke was that Deadpool was going to be rated R. Everyone got fucking excited because everyone wants it to be rated R, and then lo and behold, old Ryan Reynolds is like, nope, it's going to be PG-13, and I know he wanted it to be R, but it's too good to be true. Like Fox wants all the little kids to go see that movie, and that's a little worrying.
Yeah, because let's face it, Deadpool's not for kids.
that was the April Fool's joke. It's gonna be R.
Wait, so did I have it backwards? I thought the
Yeah,
April
but
Fool's
backwards. No, well, here's what happened. Okay, Mario Lopez had him on Entertainment Tonight,
joke.
and then he was saying that it was going to be PG-13. They wanted a wider audience, like you just said. And then in the middle of this whole gig, Deadpool shows up on the set of the E show and knocks Mario Lopez out and says, "F you, Slater. It's going to be rated R." So it's going to be rated R like we all want. So they saved. Don't worry.
Okay,
Thank God.
I had that April Fool's joke backwards. Like I didn't.
That would be a mean joke.
Well-
Would be mean.
Well, he's in Sweden, so everything's backwards. So we'll.
Well, yeah, exactly. Like I just read from articles on the internet, and apparently that people need to start learning to write better. You need to go to the Geeks with Wives to get better writing, I guess.
Ha!
So look at that plug, son. No, so yeah, so that's cool. I'm excited to hear that then.
Yeah.
There's going to be a Batman 66 cartoon film. Do you guys know that?
No, I did not. I'm kind of excited for that.
Yeah, but I think
I'm really excited. Some of these DC direct to video movies have actually been pretty decent. So, you know, we can't see Burt Ward and Adam West don the tights anymore. That may be rather frightening. So it'll be cool to see them to be able to play Batman and Robin at least one last time.
What would be badass if they did like a 66 version of Batman Beyond and they had Adam West as old Bruce Wayne, but they kept it just as corny, but it was still Batman Beyond. Like
That
they
would-
tried. That'd be badass.
That would be cool.
Come on, people! You need to take up my ideas. They're gold. So, speaking of the Batman universe, Killer Croc got cast in Suicide Squad.
Who got cast as Killer Croc? I didn't see.
I don't think I know his name, but they did share. It might have been just a rumored name, but they did share a name. So
I'll look into it after podcast.
Yeah.
He'll
so-
be in tons of makeup and everything. You won't be able to tell who it is. I'm just kidding. Now, it was like one of those actors. If you see him, you'll know who it is, but nobody really knows who it is.
hopefully they do better on him than they did on the Lizard and Amazing
Oh my
Spider-Man.
God! Please don't get me down that rabbit hole.
So speaking of
I
casting
did a whole
news,
podcast on that.
speaking of casting news, we got the amazing actor and the really cool guy just in general. Stephen Amell is cast as Casey Jones. Tommy, you had kind of a qualm about this, right?
No,
You didn't. Okay, somebody didn't think he could play Casey Jones.
wasn't me. I'm all for it.
Okay, yeah, I'm totally down. I'm not sure who it was, but somebody
It
was
was
saying
me. I was a little worried about
it was
that.
you.
I don't
Okay,
know.
okay,
Way to
yeah.
go. It's right
I
next-
guess but you know,
Thanks,
you kind of. I started breaking hockey sticks and crap. I was just really pissed off, man. I don't know. No, I just kind of, I kind of got envisioned in my head, I guess, that Casey Jones is this guy, this rag guy with long hair, but Everett kind of convinced me this is the updated version. Stephen Amell's played the jock before. Stephen Amell's awesome, so let's give him a chance. So initially I was kind of like, I don't know. But now I'm kind of like, let's wait and see. This probably will actually be pretty good. I mean, he's already shown he's a badass street level character.
See, what he's going to be is he's going to be like the Oliver Queen, like year one on the island. Like he's got the long hair. He's kind of just dumb, ignorant, like younger guy. Like they'll probably give him the hockey mask, but he can't be like as 90s, like just kind of like surfer guy like in the cartoon. Like he's got to be somewhat current and updated since that's what they did with the movie. So he's gonna kind of be just like the dumb jock, I'm guessing. So I think
he's got to have a Jose Canseco bat.
Yeah. So I think we talked about it last episode that Transformers is wanting a film universe. That'll be okay if they leave the humans out of it for a few movies. They need to do like the space films.
Yeah.
We talked about Lex Luthor. Let's see. Tom Hardy signed on for 3 more Mad Max films. I'm not too excited about that. I mean,
a lot of people, I was looking at a lot of people put their list out this week for the most anticipated movies of the summer, and they had Mad Max #1. A few sites did. People, I don't. I mean, I have Avengers and Jurassic World are my top 2 for the summer, but I just see a lot of people who are pumped about Mad Max, and it's just not my thing.
You can watch me and Wayne watch a Mad Max trailer on I think Trailer Cast #2, and we just I don't know, I can't get into it. And Wayne's even seen the original, and he was just like, I don't know, I don't think it's for me. So. You know,
and I love Tom Hardy. I mean, not just as Bane. Like, I mean, I loved him in that Warrior movie. God, there's something else he was in. That
Mad Max.
Yeah.
Oh well. So
he's great in Inception as well. I mean, he's good in a lot of stuff. But
so James Mangold's Wolverine 3 is going to be his last movie.
Wolverine 3, directed by James Mangold, comes out March 3rd, 2017. It's Hugh Jackman's last time playing the Wolverine character.
I thought you meant. I thought when you wrote that you meant it's James Mangold's last movie. But yeah, Hugh Jackman.
Who gives a crap about that? I'm just kidding. No disrespect to James Mangold. All right, it's Hugh Jackman's last Wolverine movie, guys. I mean, that's a big deal.
And just to pile it on the Steven, he totally thought that when Hugh Jackman tweeted that he was going to be wearing the yellow spandex costume in the last Wolverine in Age of Apocalypse, Steven totally bought it.
Well, he had his spandex a little too tight. Cut off the blood flow to his brain. It's all good.
No, I bet Steven was just like, yes, I can cosplay as Wolverine now.
It's like I have an excuse.
Yeah, I know. That'd be cool, though, because there's, so they're going to make a new, like, old school Godzilla film. Do you guys think that it's too early for that? Like, are they going to do a sequel to the Godzilla that just came out?
I think they are, if I remember correctly, but I'm all for a normal Godzilla, because that was my biggest gripe with, the Godzilla that we just had, is there wasn't enough freaking Godzilla. It focused on the...
Absolutely.
But even if it's like the old Toho, like, old school, like, style Godzilla?
I'm still for it, yeah.
Okay.
I am too. As long as it don't have Aaron Taylor Johnson in it, I'm worried about him being Quicksilver, because that dude just is a block of wood. He has no personality whatsoever. And I love Kick-Ass, but Hit Girl made those movies.
Yeah, her and old Nick Cage. Yeah, so they're gonna do a Vacation series reboot with Ed Helms and Christina Applegate.
Yeah, and Chevy Chase is going to be in it, and it was supposed to be out in the fall, but now they're moving it up to the end of the summer, July 31st, which I think is the same day Mission Impossible 3. I mean, 5 now is going to be coming out. So
not seeing that movie then, because I'm going to Mission Impossible.
I want to see both. I love the vacation movies, man.
Yeah, but I feel like National Lampoons, man, they've fallen so far since those movies that they're going to have to work hard to earn my trust.
They're not even a name brand anymore, man.
I think after Van Wilder, they just dropped off the radar. Like, Van Wilder 1 was fantastic.
You didn't see The Rise of Taj? Come on, man.
No,
Did you ever see that sequel?
I didn't care for Taj's character
horrible.
enough to.
It was awful.
Oh God! I mean, I freaking like what's his name, guy that Kumar.
Is it Penn? Cal Penn?
Cal Penn. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
on House and in the Obama administration.
He's a smart dude.
Yeah, he is. So there, you wrote here that there was a future Vin Diesel parody of Back to the Future.
Yeah,
I didn't hear that one. What were they saying? They were going to do a Back to the Future starring Vin Diesel.
It was an April Fool's joke for the next Fast movie. It was called Fast to the Future. And it's awesome. Look it up. IGN did it. Had Vin Diesel riding through like the streets in a DeLorean. He's like, all right, it just feels right. Just like old times. And
that sounds cool.
Oh my God. I was dying. Gotta watch it.
So ABC is going to revive the Muppet Show.
I'm all for that.
Yeah.
All for that.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty excited about that just because, if I'm planning on starting a family someday, it'd be cool to have like the Muppet Show for kids to watch. They need to have something like old school and none of this like 3D stuff.
And it's gonna have the celebrity guest appearances, kind of like an SNL type thing, the way that they used to back in the day. And I think people are gonna tune in for that.
Oh yeah, they will.
Yeah, definitely. So what is this Play-Doh movie that Fox is making?
I mean, you said it. Fox is making a Play-Doh movie based on the Play-Doh property. I guess they're going to build characters out of Play-Doh and revolve a movie around it. Details are little known at this point, but they legit have the license from Hasbro, and they're making a Play-Doh movie.
Why in the hell would they do that when they could easily make a Gumby movie or a Mr. Bill movie?
Idea. But they are.
Oh, man.
I mean,
Hollywood, man.
They should just make Mr. Bill. Come on.
Oh, no. We have to say, yes. You're the only other person I've talked to that knows Mr. Bill. Thank God.
I know him. Mr. Bill was from SNL, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think he was.
Yeah, that's where he first came from.
Yeah. And then, so the last few bits of news, we got George R. R. Martin's going to be developing a new sci-fi series that they're calling kind of like an old sci-fi standard show called Captain Cosmos. I just wrote it on here because, it's George R. R. Martin. Got to give him a little bit of credit. He's written Game of Thrones, which was fantastic. And I've read a few of his other works, and they're pretty decent as well. So I would assume Captain Cosmos is going to be pretty badass.
I actually got to meet him. He came to Charlotte last year at my old site. We got a press pass for that, and we got to attend the panel, sit up front, and then meet him later on. And he is every bit what you would imagine. Like, he's not standoffish, but he is very
imaginative.
Yeah, he's very imaginative. He's very kind of like scholarly and just kind of
old school.
Old school, but he's wise, you can tell. I mean, just a smart dude and lives up to everything you would expect.
Yeah. So, Tommy, I know one of your favorite movies of all time is Jason X. So, kind of taking after Jason X, the next Machete movie of Danny Trejo is going to take place in space.
Yeah. I don't know much about it. I didn't even bother to click the link when I saw the tweet. But my first reaction was, we're taking something that does not need to be in space and putting it in space. Did we not learn from the travesty, train wreck, piece of just garbage that was Jason X?
Guys, I have a request. And sometime this summer, can the Geeks on Screen, us three and maybe Wayne, get together and do, I don't know how we would do it. Obviously, we wouldn't broadcast it on here because Paramount wouldn't allow us to do that. But we do a commentary track for Jason X. We totally need to do that.
Yeah.
Would you be in?
Yeah, definitely.
Come on, Tommy.
Casey's been wanting us to do that forever now, so we should probably try and do that.
I will totally do that.
For Jason X or just in general?
Just in general, but Jason X would be a good start.
Oh, dude, that would be hilarious.
I want to rip that movie up.
All right, so let's burn through just a few little pieces of news. We won't even try and talk about them. Falling Skies season finale or final season trailer just came out. I don't know if you guys have been following that. That show's pretty good. I mean, it's not the best, but it's watchable. Like, I've been following it just because I want to see how it ends. Full House. Netflix is readying a Full House sequel series. I don't know what the hell they mean by that. If it's gonna be like,
I am pumped for this.
like what do they mean by sequel though? Is it going to be like freaking
not like I saw a tweet
Michelle's?
earlier. Like I don't know if it's legit, but it's pretty much the old cast. Like they likened it to Fuller House is how they kind of worded it.
Okay, well if it's the old cast, I'm down.
No, it's John Stamos and whatever his wife's name is, Rebecca from Full House. And it's going to revolve around Stephanie and DJ's kids interacting with Jesse's family. And you're going to have Stamos on there, of course, and you're going to have David Coyer, who is Uncle Joey, and then Bob Saget.
Bob Saget has to be on there.
Well, he's going to just be a guest star. He's not going to be on every episode, and Joey. But Jesse's the main. Oh, no, they're not in. I just wonder if they're going to get the two twins that were Uncle Jesse's kids back on the show.
Okay, well, I wonder what they're going to explain about Michelle being gone. They're going to be like, she died in a tragic car accident.
Well, here's how they explain it. I don't know if you remember, but the last episode of Full House, she falls off a horse and loses her memory. They can just say she had brain hemorrhage and died like a week later.
Fuck, man, what a downer they start the show on, though, right?
Don't forget,
the original show started with the death of the mother from a drunk driver, so start the other show with another tragedy. I hate to be the downer toward the end, but hey.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to do it.
All right, well, that seems like that's pretty much it for the news. We probably missed a few things. Like, I know House of Cards got renewed for season 4, but that's not really news. We all expected that. Attack on Titan's getting a live-action TV series. I'm not a big fan of that anime, but I know that's huge. I know I saw somebody, I'm not sure who it was, but somebody was bitching that Winnie the Pooh is being developed as a live-action movie.
Did I not see Piper tweet that?
It might have been Piper, yeah. Somebody was just like, you're killing my childhood, which I agree, you know. How are they going to do Winnie the Pooh live unless they do like a Space Jam, like half animated, half live thing?
They could always use a real bear.
With a machine gun. Riding Eeyore through the forest.
It's just like 2 hours of a bear talking with a pig and like a donkey, like
directed by Christopher Nolan.
Directed, yeah.
And replace the honey with acid, and this entire movie will make sense.
Or you have to take acid while you go see the movie.
You buy a ticket, you get a tab of acid.
Instead of popcorn, you just get acid. But yeah. So let's move on to our final thoughts. So let's start with you, Brad. What are your final thoughts?
Just find me at geekswithwives.com. Follow me on Twitter at TheRealBradBell, REEL Brad Bell. Check out the spoiler cast kit that I did for House of Cards Season 3. Always check out my Flash review, the Flash Reverse that I do every week. So that's about it.
All right. And Tommy, I know for your final thoughts, you wanted to mention something that me and Wayne watched on the trailer cast, the 5th episode, Insidious Chapter 3.
Yeah, you guys wanted to get my thoughts on that, and all I can say is just no.
That's Tommy's famous line. No.
Why do we need, I don't understand what it is with horror movies. You know, they want to do the prequel shit.
Yeah.
Actually,
But Tommy, we have to go back to the beginning.
God damn it. No, honestly, okay. If you've seen the first Insidious, I've already said on the horror episode, it's a prepubescent Darth Maul.
That's my all-time favorite moment of Geeks With Wives.
Yes, yeah, and I'm it's legit too. Like Everett said, Google Insidious Darth Maul, and you'll see what I mean.
Yeah.
But like, I don't get how they're gonna like. Okay, this is pretty much the origin of that film
Yeah.
or of the series, and it stars a chick. I have no problem with that.
It's
But
like Rebecca Black that's gonna turn into freaking
but
Darth Maul.
yeah, like how do we go from a female getting possessed all the way to a prepubescent Darth Maul? Like,
Hey, sign me up. I want to see how that happens. That's all I gotta say.
like when she gets possessed, like does she get like a demonic sex change or like?
Hey,
And she
man.
just, like you said, discovers Slayer. I mean,
I don't.
Shit.
I honestly just like. I have no words for that. Like, it makes no sense to me. Like I can understand a prequel, but to literally go all the way back to the beginning, I don't think it's gonna work out. Like, it's gonna be a fail.
But Tommy,
listen to
we
the
have
horror.
to go back to the beginning.
No, we don't. No, we don't. No.
All right, Tommy, where can we find you on Twitter?
You can find me on Twitter at It's Simply T. I really don't have too much planned in the form of content for Geeks with Wives right now, although I am slowly going to start building a computer in about a week to start putting out more content. Like, I know me and Everett have already talked about, Minecraft, like I said. And I got a few other things that I want to do for Geeks with Wives when it comes to streaming and stuff. So as soon as I get this computer built, you'll be seeing a lot more of me that way.
Your computer's like Duke Nukem, man. I hope it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
I'm
Just
holding
gotta
out hope.
wait, and it takes.
I get paid. Shit, I get paid in 3 days. So
But
yeah.
then you're gonna buy like a bunch of wrestling DVDs, and you're not gonna have the money.
Wrestling DVDs. Am I 12?
Yeah, who needs wrestling DVDs?
Shots fired.
One last plug: the WWE Network's on like $9.99. All right.
Shit, I think Brad's got a sponsor deal that he's not telling us about. He's using Geeks with Wives to plug his WWE. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, so for me, you can find me at Everett Gets It on Twitter. I haven't written really anything new on Geeks with Wives this past week, but I have put out a few videos on YouTube. Me and Wayne did our Geeks on Screen trailer cast, which if you watch the show, you might enjoy. It's just me and Wayne, and we watch a few brand new movie trailers each week. We might have to skip next week, but the week after we'll be back. And we just kind of comment and talk about how we feel about the trailers and what it made us think. I also put out one Hotline Miami video this week. I have to record some more, so I apologize if you're one of the two people that have been watching that series.
I bet one of the people that's been watching is Wayne.
Probably Wayne. Wayne loves me.
It's just Wayne and yourself. You have to play it back to see if it sounds right.
No, one of them's probably Adam too. Those I got the British fan base. So, and then if you've been following me and Adam's Divinity series on the Geeks with Wives YouTube, Wednesday we did an April Fool's episode where we just went around the main town and just murdered everyone, which was really fun to record. And
because mass murder is totally an April Fool's joke.
Oh, we mentioned terrorism and bombs quite a bit in that episode, so it's... No, it's an April Fool's joke because we were about to go and fight, like, the main boss in the first, like, third of the game, and then we're just like, all right, let's go back to town and get some like, potions and scrolls to prepare for this boss, and then Adam attacks someone, and we just, like, get in a fight and kill all the guards and kill all the vendors, and we end up going to attack, like, the wizard in the town, and he ends up killing us. It's pretty damn funny. I don't know. Go watch it.
I might have to.
Yeah, so that's pretty much it. Stick around, Geeks with Wives. We've got some great video game articles. I know Steven just put one up about Tobuscus Adventures Wizards, Tobuscus' new mobile game that he's excited about.
He's all over that thing.
Yeah, man, he's all over it. You'll have seen us be tweeting about it. Like Brad said, he's got in the entertainment section, we got some great, we're starting to get more show reviews. Like to get a few movie reviews, so if you want to review some movies for us, just let us know at Geeks with Wives on Twitter.
We need to get an Arrow review going every week, so hopefully that'll get going. I don't have the time to do that one too now, but that would be good.
I was gonna do it, but I can't find the time right now. But yeah, if you'd like to review Arrow, man, just tweet us at Geeks on Screen or at Geeks with Wives. We also cover comics. If you haven't seen the comic section there, it's probably the most updated and biggest section on the site. It's got new stuff going up every day. We got Tuesdays and Wednesdays. We've got like 15 plus reviews that go up each week. So check that out. We've got a video games podcast called Press Any Key that's on the same iTunes account, Geeks with Wives. And then we've also got the Geeks with Wives and Capes, which I was on last night. We talked to Landry Walker, who is the writer of some great comics like Red Lanterns and, some really good ones. So he was really fun to talk to. So go watch that. It was pretty funny. Piper hosted. So yeah, we're going to be off next week. So no Geeks on Screen next week. Sorry to everyone. But we'll be back the following week. And from what I've planned, we're going to be talking about book adaptations. So that's going to include Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones, Harry Potter, Twilight. We can talk about all the good ones. Divergent.
50 Shades of Grey.
Hunger Games. 50 Shades. We'll talk about 50 Shades, man. If we can find one of the Geeks with Wives members that's seen that movie, I will definitely have them on because I want to get their take on that. Tommy was supposed to be our bullet, the one that bit the bullet for us.
I was supposed to be, yeah, but that's a whole nother story that I'm not going into on the podcast.
Still do it, Tommy. Just go see it. Just by yourself. Just put on some lipstick. Go see it.
No.
All right. All right. Well, thanks everyone for watching. Follow us on Twitter at Geeks on Screen. Like and subscribe on the YouTube, and we will see you next week.